All right, in fact, we're not going back to KwaZulu-Natal. We're going back to one of our top political stories, the suspension by the ANC of the Secretary-General, Ace Magashule, announced today. That letter was signed by the Deputy Secretary-General, and that's Jesse Duarte. Let's speak now to Snuki Zikalala, who's head of the ANC Veterans League. Mr. Zikalala, do you agree that this is quite a political moment in South Africa?
Well, good evening, Francis Head, and good evening to your viewers. Well, this is an important milestone within the African National Congress. As you know, that the issue of step aside, it was decided in August last year that those who are found wanting and facing criminal charges must step aside. And of course, we have been kicking the can down the road since then. But the pivotal moment came out in February, when the NEC decided that they should give those who are criminally charged 30 days to step aside voluntarily. And it made it very clear that if they don't step aside voluntarily within 30 days, then the ANC will invoke Rule 25.70, and which ended on the 3rd of this month. And the NWC reconfirmed that decision and said, look, we are implementing the NEC resolution, that those who have not stepped aside voluntarily, then the ANC has the full powers to suspend them from the organization, and also to invoke Rule 25.70. It's not only the Secretary General, it's all those who are criminally charged. And also that letters must be written to all those who are criminally charged, that as from the 3rd of this month, they must be suspended, and we invoke Rule 25.70, and so that they should then face criminal charges that they are due to appear in the court of law.
Mr. Zikalala, you've supported this decision, and you've said that it's about the organization coming first. Is this about the organization? And the reason I ask is because Ace Magashule will say perhaps that this is about getting him out of the way because he stands against Cyril Ramaphosa, or his supporters might say that.
No, it's not true. It's not true. It's not about, as we say, we don't make rules and regulations for individuals. We make rules and regulations for the organization, because it's about organization. As you know, when we went to National General Conference, we won the elections on the ticket of anti-corruption campaign. And we told society that we want to bring back society's confidence in the ANC, we want to root out corruption. And we said we support state capture, which is now led by Deputy Chief Justice Zondo. And we said every individual who's found wanting or who's been criminally charged must face the full might of the law. Now, it's not about individuals at all. And it's unfortunate, really, it's unfortunate that our Secretary General was found wanting, is facing criminal charges currently, and is charged by the court of law. And all those who are charged by the court of law, definitely they must step aside, as we said, as of the 3rd of May. And of course, they must be able to face the full might of the law, and they must defend themselves in the court of law. It does not mean that they've been expelled from the organization. Once they get acquitted from the court of law, they'll gladly come back to the African National Congress. We're not purging individuals. No individuals are purged within the African National Congress. Not at all.
Will this show the public that the ANC is serious about corruption? Because this is happening. It's quite pivotal, quite unique, but there's been a lot of pushback, and it's been a lengthy process with to and fro. The NEC makes a decision, debated, then the NWC confirms that decision, then reportedly the top 6 had to confirm that decision. It seems like it's been quite a push to actually enforce an NEC decision.
Well, it's not a push, it's a question of persuading comrades who are facing criminal charges, because it's not easy for comrades who are about 60 years of age, some of them are 65 years of age, to face criminal charges, and for them to spend the rest of their lives in prison. But that's not our problem. It is their problem. They got involved in malfeasance. They got involved in corruption. And the ANC constitution is totally opposed to corruption. Now, if an individual is involved in malfeasance and corruption, that individual must face the full might of the law. It doesn't matter who it is. And we as the African National Congress and also as the Veterans League, we believe in the rule of law. And we are all, we're all equal before the court, before the law. And so we are saying to our ANC members, it doesn't matter whether it's a councillor, is a deputy minister, is in the top position of the African National Congress. We are there to serve society. We're there to ensure that society, because I think it's a privilege to serve society. It is a privilege that we have given by this society to govern on their behalf. And so we can't go and loot and be involved in mass corruption and think that it's the right thing to do. We can't allow people to loot with impunity.
Yeah.
And so we are not,
Mr.
this is not
Zikalala,
directed at the Secretary General at all. It's directed at all members of the African National Congress who are found wanting and also who are facing criminal charges.
Yeah.
All of them. Because
Mr.
it's
Zikalala,
important for
we're running
society.
out of time. My final quick question in 30 seconds. Do you think that Ace Magashule will accept this decision?
Well, Ace Magashule made it very clear that he's a member of the ANC, and he said he'll abide by the rules and the rules and regulations of the African National Congress. And he knows that he's not being expelled from the organization. We are giving him the opportunity to go through his trial and make sure that he's represented properly. And if he gets acquitted, then he's free to come back to the African National Congress. It's not about him. It's about the organization. The organization is bigger than individuals.
All right, thank you very much. The President of the ANC Veterans League, Snuki Zikalala, and we'll bring you some more analysis on that letter that was finally delivered today announcing the suspension of the ANC Secretary General.